This is not your normal YouTube growth video. I know you're frustrated with all this surface level advice, but that is exactly why I wanted to create this for you. I started this page 1 year ago and I had no idea how to even use this platform, and I monetized within 2 months of starting. Not only did I make thousands from Google AdSense, but I also made money for my business just from starting. Welcome back, or if you're new here, I'm Michaela and I talk all about business, faith, lifestyle, productivity, all of it. My mission is to give you everything you need so that you can scale your business and also keep God at the center. Lately, I have been getting so many questions you wouldn't even imagine on how I grew my YouTube channel. So I felt like it's time to get real practical and share my personal experience by giving you my top 5 lessons to not only help you grow on YouTube, but position you to make more money from your account without needing to go live or having a lot of views, especially for my business owners and creator CEOs. It worked for me, so I believe it will work for you. Here are the timestamps for today's video. I really believe it's important for me to share just some background of how I even got started and why I'm even here. And this is one of my disclaimers, is when I started this channel, I didn't do it because I desired to do it. It was an act of obedience that I turned out to love. God called me to be here. When he told me to get on YouTube, he said, you're going to share your life, you're going to share your business, and you're going to give me the glory for it. And so that's exactly what I do. So my goal starting out wasn't to monetize. I just approached this how I do everything, which is by moving in excellence, moving in integrity, and just approaching this in a way where I want to be the absolute best that I possibly can. So I took time to study, to learn, and implement with efficiency and, again, excellence. And truly, I would have done this if I never would have gotten paid for it. It became such a creative outlet for me. It was an opportunity that I wasn't able to experience through short form content. So I just want you to think about, if you're only doing this to make money from YouTube, then you're showing up for the wrong reasons, and it's going to be really hard to grow, and also going to be really hard to sustain the growth because you're not doing it for the right reasons. Disclaimer number 2 is that while yes, I had never actively watched people's YouTube videos, never knew how to do a vlog, any of that stuff before I joined, I learned how to speak through having a podcast. So God utilized that to build up the skill to be able to talk on camera. And I really had to learn how to show up on camera and speak because I was so terrified. And if you're someone who feels that way, I actually have an entire video where I walk you through how I built the skill and how I became more comfortable talking on camera. And I really believe it's going to bless you, especially as you're learning to grow on your YouTube channel and monetize. I also have been creating content for the past 10 years on short form. So I already knew how to make aesthetic content and what quality looks like. And so I utilized what I knew and just brought it over to this platform, and it ended up working out very well. And so if you're also someone who isn't really sure how to create aesthetic content, I uploaded an entire full course on how to do that on my YouTube channel. But let me tell you, YouTube, that is a whole other ball game from doing short form content. So let's get right into the 5 lessons. Lesson number 1, systems drive success. Your growth is going to depend on your ability to continue showing up even when life gets hectic, even when you get busy, even when you don't feel like it, or even when it feels overwhelming. You have to have a system in place that helps you continue to show up despite the chaos that is happening around you. And for me, preparation was a huge part of this. When I first started my YouTube a year ago, I had a full-time job as a nurse. Now I'm full-time entrepreneur, but at the time I had to plan ahead, or else I wouldn't have been able to push my content out on YouTube, on TikTok, on Instagram, managing 2 different accounts, my personal brand and my business and my podcast. The list goes on of all the things that I had to manage and take care of, which is why I ensured that I did content batching. I really want to give you my content batching system that I utilized when I was a full-time nurse, also as a full-time entrepreneur, and also how I go about doing it for vlogs. So when I first started this YouTube channel, I actually started with a signature series called Fulfilled You series. Your best friend is going to be planning in advance. So what worked for me when I was doing that signature series is I mapped out what video it was going to be for every single week. I did this in one day. And that same day, I would also script out the videos. I would have more so of an outline. And for you, if an outline doesn't really work well for you, like you would rather have a whole entire script, you can do that. But that is just what worked best for me. I would write out my script for my intros and my outros. And then in the middle part of the script, I would just write bullet points of maybe just something that I wanted to touch on, something that I didn't want to forget, even like visual cues or what I knew that I wanted to pop up on the screen. And then the next day, I would go ahead and batch film all 4 videos in one day. This may feel like too much for people, but this is what I had to do to be consistent and ensure that I showed up, which gave me more time to actually edit the videos, which I would do on a separate day so that every single week I was prepared and ensure that I showed up on time. And here's an example of what this looks like. Now let's get into how I batch my content as a full-time entrepreneur. I'm gonna pop up a picture on the screen just so you can visualize what I'm saying as I'm talking about it, because I am someone who has a lot of things to tackle. I have a lot of tasks. Like I said, I have a podcast, I have multiple short form channels, I have my 2 businesses, I have a brand. And so this is so vital for me to show up. So the first thing that I do is just ensure that I plan in advance. And something that really helps me plan in advance is having a list of content ideas that I write down the second that it comes to mind. I don't hope that I'm gonna remember. I write it down in that moment. And then when it comes to actually plan, it makes this whole process easier. On Mondays, I script. On Tuesdays, I film. Those days never change. On Thursdays, I'll start my editing and then I'll ensure that I publish my videos over the weekend. Over time, this is going to change because I'm actually looking for a video editor right now for my YouTube videos so that I can take this off of my hands, which will free up more time for me to be creative and work on the business versus being in the business. And so I would be doing more of scripting and filming so that I could just keep pushing out videos. And something very important to note is that I ensure that I am 2 weeks in advance. Like I'm filming this right now, and if I get super excited and I just want to post this, I'll post it the same week. But I also have videos on the back end that I can post in the case that I get too busy or if something happens. Like you never know, like life happens and there are things that are out of your control. And so I do what's in my control and just ensure that I am prepared. You basically just want to have some backup. Like right now, I probably have 10 to 12 videos I can post as backup. And if God gives me a word, just X out the plan. All I do is just walk in obedience. I will pull out my camera. I will speak what the Holy Spirit says. I don't even edit it. I just post it and then we keep it going because sometimes He gives us an on-time word. And the craziest part about it is that my most viral video is a video that I didn't plan, I didn't script it, I didn't edit it. All I did was open up my camera, like I said, I filmed it and I posted it in that same day. So you have to be flexible and not be rigid with your plans and allow the Holy Spirit to flow. Now, when it comes to vlogs, this is a little different. I will do this depending on the style of the vlog on a Saturday or a Tuesday morning. The thing is, when I'm filming a vlog, I still have a focus on what I'm talking about in the vlog because I don't just want to film my entire day and then I have a video that's an hour and 45 minutes. Please tell me in the comments, what are the vlogs that you like to watch? Are they 30 minutes? Are they an hour? I really believe it just depends on the person, but for me, I have been focusing more on making vlogs that have a purpose. Those are my vlogs that do the best. But then there are times where I am just sharing my business and I am just sharing my life and I don't really have a focus center topic and those videos just don't perform as well. You really just have to pick and choose your battles. So just to get a little more practical, because I really think this will benefit you, is that when you are planning your vlogs, you should be writing out what you're going to do. So for example, if I'm filming my morning routine as a business owner, And I really want to talk about how my morning routine really helps me be productive for the rest of my day. I am ensuring that that is what I'm speaking about, whether it's a voiceover, whether it's face to cam in between all the aesthetic shots. I just want to ensure that when I'm doing it this way, it entices people to click on it more because it's actual topic that they know about, because not everyone knows who you are when you first start. So you building that trust when you do it this way. And I hope you have your pen and paper because we're just getting started. Number 2, YouTube is a conversion machine. And keep in mind that growth metrics do not always correlate to subscriber increase. And please don't ever say I didn't tell you this, but if you're a business owner and you are not posting your business on YouTube, what are you doing? Man, you are missing out on an opportunity to help solve your customer's problem and also position yourself for more PR, more media, not only to build trust with your clients or your customers, but it really positions you as an authority. It also helps with your personal branding, with your business branding. Just to give you a perspective of what I'm even talking about is like right now, I thread my brand Made by the Word and my coaching offers through every single video, even if it's subliminal and you don't even realize it. Like for example, right now, I am showing my journals in my video just to build association. They are literally right here. So as YouTube pushes out my video, it's giving me more exposure, not just for my page, but for my businesses. And it allows me to get paid, not just from Google AdSense, but also converting people as clients and customers. So yes, I've made thousands, but truthfully, I've made so much more by promoting my offers within my videos. I've built trust, I've built relationships, I've built intimacy, which helped me build a digital footprint that positioned me to attract more opportunities that are priceless. Spread your offers through your videos, and I'm gonna give you some steps on how you can do this. 1, you can create your own ad in your video by baking it in. You can also subliminally sell your offers. So let's stick to the example that I gave with my morning routine. I know that I have journals that people use in the morning, and this brand is an extension of me. So it's not something that I created and I don't actually use it. I created it. I know that it helps people. It helps me. So in that morning routine video, I would subliminally sell it by just utilizing it within the video. You can also make sure that you have a call to action within your videos. You can say it, you can write it in the description, you can post it in your bio, you can write it in the comments. What you can also do is collaborate with other creators and have them make tutorials of using your product or utilizing your service. You can also have them subliminally sell by utilizing that method that I just gave you when you are utilizing the product inside of B-roll or inside of a vlog. And look, I have so many more gems for you. So when you're ready to build that digital footprint on YouTube to position yourself as the only choice in your industry to scale your business, to make more income through conversion on YouTube, I want you to sign up for my YouTube masterclass. I'm gonna drop the description in the link below. I cannot wait, so I will see you there. Number 3, I focused on how I packaged my video. You can make the absolute best video on YouTube, but if you do not package it right, no one's gonna click it. And yes, that does involve your thumbnail and it does involve your title. Thankfully, YouTube does give you the option to test out your thumbnails and test out your titles now. And when I first started, I promise you, every single video I made 3 different thumbnails to test out to see which one would perform better. And if you didn't know, if you change your thumbnail and you change your title, every time you do it, YouTube will re-push your video out to new people to see if they're interested in it. So remember, I had never watched YouTube before when I first started. So I know you're probably thinking, well, how did you know what to do? I looked around and saw what worked for others to a certain extent. I would go look at their pages. I would see why their videos were doing so well. I would look and see why people were so obsessed with them. And then I would make it my own. And you may think this is a little overboard, but I'm going to share it. But I would make spreadsheets with the outliers. So what I would do is I would look at people's followers or their subscriber count that they had, and then I would pay attention to the videos that went viral or they had multi-million views when they only had 50K, and that showed me that the video performed well. So I would look at the title, I would look at the first 30 seconds, I would look at the description, I would look at what people were saying in the comments. So what you can do is do your own audit on why you click on videos. In your video audits, I want you to ask these questions. Why did you like the video? Why did you click on the video? What was the mood of the video? Pay attention to the lighting. Pay attention to the video setup. Was there a certain point in time where you clicked off or you got bored? Or what made you stay and watch the full video? Again, with thumbnails, I definitely suggest making multiple so that you can test it out. And you can even pay attention to this when you are doing your audits. And I want you to look at the titles and look at the thumbnail of the videos that you're auditing to see what made you so drawn to that. Of course, when it comes to packaging, you want to also pay attention to the first 30 seconds of your video. Are people staying to watch? If people are clicking away in the first 5 seconds, in the first 10 seconds, then it's time to make some changes. You want to use that to engage the viewer so that they stay for the remainder of the time. And I'm about to give you some ways on how you can do that. You can have a visual hook. This can look like text on screen. This can look like movement, whether it's movement of the screen or movement of the person. You could do a sound hook where you have some audio effects, or maybe you have a voiceover over B-roll. You can also have a verbal hook where what you say draws them in. And this is not a rule when it comes to packaging. This is my own opinion. But if you don't have timestamps, I am not watching your video. I want to be able to see what I'm getting myself into, and I just highly suggest doing it. I am telling you right now, people get frustrated when you don't have timestamps, and I am included in that. I just won't watch the video. And it really doesn't take that long to do. All you need to do is put 0, semicolon, 00, text. And to add a little razzle dazzle to the packaging of my video, I just make sure that I have some type of B-roll transitions. And you may not be the creator who has that, but I highly encourage, just in your free time, you want to film what you're doing anyway. So whether it's you making some food in the morning, or maybe you are doing a coaching call, you really want to ensure that you have some type of footage that you can use in the future, because you don't want to be editing a video and then you don't even have B-roll to use. So I just make sure that there are times where I plan out, even when I'm batching my content, like, okay, this is what I need to ensure that I'm planning. And if you want an in-depth video on how I plan my videos, let me know in the comments. Number 4, consistency is more important than perfection. When I first started this YouTube channel, I was so consistent. I mean, you can even tell the difference because I spent so much time on my thumbnails. I spent so much time editing. And over time, as business got busier, I wasn't able to spend the same amount of time on my videos as I did when I first started. And what I could have done is just not post it at all just because I didn't have the time. But instead, I tried different forms of content that would help me show up and be consistent. So sometimes that did mean I didn't edit my videos like I normally would. Sometimes that did mean just hopping on and allowing God to guide my words as I speak. Sometimes that did mean getting creative, where I filmed myself on a coaching call and I would take bits and pieces of what I taught and just post it as a YouTube video. There are no rules to what you can and cannot post. You want to do what works best for you, but don't allow your perfectionism keep you from showing up, because there is someone out there who is doing it with what they have in their hands and not allowing what they don't have keep them from posting. What you are doing is building compounding results. It is not all or nothing. Last year, I actually missed 7 weeks out of 52. And for me, that was such a big accomplishment. But I wouldn't have been able to do that if I didn't give myself grace in those seasons where I didn't have as much time, which meant I just didn't do as many fancy edits that I actually really love to do. Number 5, find the gap and fill it. You are set apart. You are anointed to talk about what you are chosen to talk about. Don't do something just because someone else is doing it and it's working. You have an opportunity to fill the gap and do something that no one is doing. When I first started, I didn't see people who were talking about business also talk about faith and also share their life. So while yes, God did direct me to do that, I noticed that I was anointed for it. And I also noticed that that wasn't something that I saw online. And here's how you can do that. Know what you stand for and know what you don't. For example, I believe that faith and business coexist. That's not something that you compartmentalize, and that you can grow your business without losing yourself along the way and without burning out. Know your audience. And I actually have a video talking super in depth about this, about creating an offer that actually sells, but the principles are still the same. And for me, my audience are business owners and creator CEOs, people who have already started. They're looking to expand and they're looking to have that little small strategy that's going to actually push them to the next level. Now it's time to answer what makes you different. I know that I'm a woman of God. I'm not married. I don't have kids. I know how to be personable. I know how to be vulnerable. I love aesthetics and cinematography. I've gone through domestic violence. I've lived on the East Coast. I've lived on the West Coast. I've lived in the South. There are so many differentiators about you that make you stand out. And what you can first start with is just your testimony, your story. That's what people are going to be attracted to, not just what you do, but who you are. And just some notes of encouragement. Be 100% authentically you. If I showed up talking like someone else, or if I showed up not even speaking like who I am, eventually I'm going to get tired of it. And eventually you're going to have imposter syndrome because you're going to realize people are connecting to a version of yourself that isn't even you. That builds burnout. So be you no matter the cost. Even if you're afraid at first, there is something so powerful about being authentically yourself, about being the person who doesn't care what other people think. Next is to leverage what's already in your hands. You don't need this camera equipment that I'm using right now. You can use your phone. There are videos on my page where I did just use my phone because I didn't have the capability to pull out my camera when I was led to talk. Truly, just start where you are and leverage what's already in your hands. And last but not least, be willing to show up because you're building compounding results. Some videos will flop. And maybe they'll flop for a few months, and then you never know. I have videos that didn't do well the first few months that I posted it, and then it randomly went viral or it randomly hit a bunch of views. But that's because of the compounding results of me continuing to show up despite what the outcome looked like. Overall, I will say that I had an amazing first year on YouTube. I absolutely loved it, and I can't wait to see what the growth is going to look like this year, what the conversion rate is going to look like this year, all the lives that are impacted just from me showing up. Like, I am just so grateful for this opportunity to be here, to be talking to you right now. It is such a blessing. Because if only you knew how far I've come. When God first called me to speak, even on my podcast, I was terrified. I was afraid. I didn't want to do it. But that was because I had such a big fear of people seeing me for who I am and even showing my face after going through domestic violence. I was terrified. Like, I was okay with never showing my face again, even though I had been online for so many years, working with Walmart, working with Good American. The second that happened and my face was bruised and I was suffocated, I had no interest in showing my face ever again. I was okay with keeping my mouth shut. But let me tell you right now that you must use your voice. When you use your voice, you shift atmospheres. When you use your voice, It breaks chains off of people. You have something to share, and this is the perfect space to do it. There are people online on YouTube right now talking about topics that they're not anointed to talk about. But you are anointed to talk about what God placed on your heart and what you've been through. So take a stand. The market's not saturated because there's only one you. So just know that as you take the courage and the boldness and make the sacrifices to show up, because no one really knows what it takes until you do it. But don't allow that to scare you. Let that be the push and the motivation you need, because God's going to be with you through it. You're not in this by yourself. Lean on Him every single step of the way. Ask Him to give you divine strategy, because He will. And just know that I have so many more videos that will help you, whether it's in your business, whether it's your morning routine, how to be more productive, or genuinely just how to run your business with God in the center. So thank you so much for being here, for taking the time out of your day to listen to this. I just know that this is going to bless you. And I just pray that it builds compounding results and exponential growth and divine acceleration just from you tuning in. And if that's you, you're a business owner, a creator, CEO, desiring to expand with God, I want you to watch this video, because it's going to help you just like it's helped so many others. Okay, I love you. Bye.